Hey, good evening. So, right now, you all should have read The Story of an Hour by Chopin. And in order to start an activity tomorrow, I'm going to go over a few different things with you so you can see and understand the story. Bring any questions you have to class tomorrow. So just as a refresher for the background, Chopin was born in Missouri. And yes, it is Chopin, not Chopin. She is one of 5 kids, but she was the only one to live past 20 years old. So in a way, she was an only child. Her great-grandmother oversaw her education and raised her after her father died. So therefore, she grew up around smart, single, and independent women. Her grandmother, actually her great-great-grandmother, was the first woman in Missouri to receive legal separation from her husband. So that also started some of her feminist ideals, and she was actually widowed at a fairly young age. So here are the few different terms that you'll need to know for this story. There's irony, feminism, imagery, protagonist and antagonist, point of view, climax, foreshadowing, repetition, metaphor, theme, and symbolism. You'll have to understand each of these, and I know that there is 3 different points of view, so make sure to brush up on which point of view this story is. There are metaphors within it, so kind of look over that. For tomorrow, you're going to want to focus on a few specific ones, which you will see. So what did you just read? Story of an Hour is a story about a woman who finds out that her husband's died. She is very upset about it, very emotional, and you can see this in the very beginning and how she doesn't know how she's going to go on with life, and then she starts changing her mind, and by the end she's ready to take on her new life as a female and realizes that her husband is alive and she dies of a heart attack. It's very ironic, and that's where you can see the irony. So here, let's take a little bit closer look. Make sure to have your story in front of you. So there's symbols: the chair, the window, and the freedom. On the very first page, to the 4th paragraph, it says, "There stood, facing the open window, a comfortable, roomy armchair. Into this she sank, pressed down by a physical exhaustion that haunted her body and seemed to reach into her soul." And then in the next paragraph it says, "She could see in the open square before her house the tops of the trees that were aquiver with new spring life." This is kind of a symbol for her seeing her new way she can be. The open window, it's like a new open life, a comfortable, like this life can be comfortable. And in paragraph 5 it says new spring life. And further down the page it talks about her, she says free, free, free. And on the back it also, in paragraph 3, she says free, body and soul free. So she's understanding where she can have a new life and how it can start. It's also ironic, as I mentioned before, because she thinks that she is going to be free now that her husband has died, and then in the end he ends up being alive, so her newfound freedom actually doesn't happen, and it's also a juxtaposition that her husband gets this newfound freedom. So how is this feminist? It's the idea of the freedom and individuality that give it the feminist nature. Chopin is trying to highlight that females in this time didn't get a chance to have the freedom that they wanted to, and this woman has this opportunity to, and she actually doesn't get to obtain it. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. So for tomorrow, make sure you've actually read the story. Come in with any questions you may have. Understand irony, imagery, and feminism the most. If you have any questions about those, bring those in. For tomorrow, think of some ideas that can go along with these words. We're going to try and build a conceptual idea, which means think of things that remind you of these words, or other words that remind you of them, and then come in with your own ideas of the story. We want to hear what you have to think, and your classmates want to hear what you have to think, and we will go from there. We'll see you all in the morning.